Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I am alone and I'll be discussing the Terminator, the first official film by James Cameron, because Piranha 2 doesn't count. Yeah. So, this will be a short episode, I have to say, mainly because of two little things. Number one, I watched this movie back in April. So, April of last year, I should say. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've watched the movie as a whole. And I will not be able to remember a lot of it since I haven't rewatched it yet. I know I probably should have for this episode, and I will be doing an episode on Terminator 2 later on the line. I don't know when, but I will be doing it. So yeah, it'll be a shorter one because I don't remember a lot about this movie. I can definitely talk about it, but I don't. It's been 10 months. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. And number two, I'm going to try to not do like I did last time, where I said it was gonna be a short episode, and then it was like 51 minutes because I spent half of it just talking about bullshit. So yeah, that is my main reasons why. Um, I will be doing the whole Terminator series, like franchise, including Sarah Connor, I think it's called Sarah Connor Chronicles, like both seasons. I will be doing episodes on those. I've decided to start doing episodes on like super like not like I guess niche like cash in series. Like, I know a lot of people say that right now this whole like, oh, slop and all this shit is slop. Like, you don't know what slop is. You don't know what slop is. Slop was back in like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, where they made series based on movies that just completely overwrote the movies, and if they were just way worse. It was just a cash grab. It was just a cash grab. Like, that is slop. Not right now. At least like what we have right now has some sort of importance to something and tries to have a story. In those times, it was just for the sake of having it. And another thing, I know I said no fucking like weird side tangents, but this is media fade. You're gonna get a fucking side tangent. I've seen a lot of people say that they miss tie-in, like movie tie-in games. You don't. You really don't. They were all bad. They were all bad. There was not a single like. I want to say, I don't know if I say single. There are some good movie tie-in video games, but it's not all of them, and most of them are garbage because most of them are made in such short notice. Like, you're not getting a good experience out of that. Like, oh, they used to make games for every movie. Yeah, but they all fucking sucked and were all financial failures, and were some of them fucking cost a studio. Like, hello? You don't want that shit anymore. I'm glad we moved past movie tie-in games, because they're just a waste of resources for nobody to buy them. And they just stock up shelves and like, oh, like this, like, it's terrible. It was just terrible. We don't need more of that. We don't need more time wasted on those games that are just made to be cash grabs. They're not made to be good. They're meant to to trick kids into buying them because they're based on their favorite movies. We don't need that anymore. God. Anyways, Terminator. Like I said, I watched this back in April, so I won't be like too going into too deep into it. Same thing for Terminator 2, but I think I'll remember a lot more of that one. But I can still like form an opinion. I can still look at the the Wikipedia article, and if you want to be completely honest, I haven't missed much. I never really missed much. The plot is very simple. Oh, yeah. It just isn't like I don't know. It just isn't like too complex for me to not remember a lot of it. It's just that it's been too long and I won't remember some things. But yeah. Also, I won't be doing the whole fucking like James Cameron filmography. That's stupid. I will not be doing that. But yeah. And also, I won't be doing Avatar because fuck Avatar. I hate that fucking franchise. That franchise does not deserve its fucking success. And I don't know where all the fucking success comes from. It's just the most fucking basic ass franchise of all time. It does nothing. Anyways, yeah. Terminator. Let's start talking about it. Guys, like I said, this will be a short one because again, there's not much to talk about here. And also, I'm recording this on Thursday. I know I've been saying like the past few episodes, you'll be hearing this or hearing that. No, I was wrong. I had some things to do, so now I'm recording this in three. All these episodes I've been recording in 3 different days. So, fuck. So yeah. Anyways, today's Thursday at 9:30 a.m. You're hearing this on. This is supposed to coming out today at 9 p.m. my time. So and in 30 minutes to 28 minutes, there's a new partner showcase from Nintendo. So I'm trying to get that before this is over. I'm trying to get this over with so I can watch that live. I know it's like partner showcase. What the fuck? But you know, I like to see what third parties are coming to Nintendo so I can buy them on there so I can take them on the go. Especially since I bought a Switch 2, I think I mentioned. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I bought a Switch 2, and with the higher like processing power and stuff, I can actually handle those type of games. I was very like afraid of getting like third party games on Switch because of the performance. But now that they have that, like it's a much better system than like the Steam Deck. So why not? Anyways, Terminator, right? Starting off, what we always start off with. Why can't I fucking speak? The visuals and action. So, for a movie released in 1980, right? I'm not stupid. Goddamn. There we go. 19. The fuck? The fuck am I? Give me a second. Say what the? Right, 1980? Where the fuck is the filmography? Bro? 1984. Never mind. 1984. From release in 1984, it looks pretty damn good. Like, a lot of it is practical, and I have to, and you kind of have to understand that. And like, the energy ball thing doesn't look the best. But like the Terminator like skeleton looks really really good, and that's really the only part of it that's like truly like special effects wise. The rest is just kind of in the present day. There's not much to say there. But it's still very impressive, and this movie is very interesting. Like behind the scenes sense, this movie was pretty much made with like no permits, just completely illegally. Um. So yeah, and it was filmed with what's called guerrilla filmmaking. Um. And so, which means like you don't have a permit, you're not filming anything, you're not filming anything like with permission by anybody, and it's a story that filming the ending of the movie is like, oh, like I think like a cop or like some a guard walked up to him and said, hey, you can't film here without a permit. It's like, oh no, this is a student film, and like all of the all of the police officers saw was James Cameron on a like just James Cameron sitting there, and I think it was it was like Sarah Connor's car in the distance, and went like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, but you don't do it again. It's like, yeah, like that. And that's really interesting. It's a very interesting story, and it shows that that not everybody can get into like filmmaking very easily. James Cameron definitely had a head start by, well, one doing a film, and two being a screenwriter for a lot of films, and also having like backing by Orion Pictures. Like, it was a lot of things, but they were, but it was something that it was something that was still made with just kind of rudimentary processes of, like, again, guerrilla filmmaking and a very small budget, all things considered. This movie cost $6.4 million. It is a very, very, very small budget. Of course, you know, it later spawned a franchise that, and I'm not sure how Terminator 2 was. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. Terminator 2 had a budget of 94 to 102 million. That is way, way, way more than the first movie. I'm guessing the first movie probably became more like viewed more, uh maybe I kind of releases and you know all that stuff, but like maybe like the first movie was more viewed in like DVD, like that's where it got most of its like profit from DVD sales, like home media sales, pretty much. DVDs weren't a thing in fucking 1984. I'm talking about like VHS, you know, home media, home media. Um, it was just like home media and whatever. So yeah, it's probably what got most of its money. From being, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, and the action overall is fine. Like, it's not. I don't think it's the best thing ever. I'm not gonna compare it to the sequel all that much. But I do understand the importance of this movie. But like the action, there's not much of it. It's mostly just kind of hiding Sarah Connor away, and that's where it comes from. This is mostly. Uh, it's a science. I was gonna say it's a horror movie, but no, it's not really a horror movie. It's just like this guy's hunting, uh, Sarah. But anyways, aside from that, there's not much action. There's like the one at the end, at like the mid part, the mid section. There's some there, like the police station where the car gets rammed into it. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Um, what else is like? Then there's one at the middle part. I think where it's at the nightclub, or that's like the first time they meet. That's like at the beginning around there, like the nightclub, which is pretty cool. And then there's also obviously the one at the end in like the factory. I think it is. Yeah, the factory, and that one's cool because it crushes the Terminator. That's what like they finish off the Terminator. It's a very cool way to finishing off. It's not just like, exploding him, whatever. It's like actually crushing it, because they've already seen that explosions don't really work on it. Yeah, that's cool. I like that, and it takes a while to get this motherfucker down. Like it is like you feel that it's you feel that this thing is like killing machine. It's a war machine. Like it's killed like hundreds of people by this point. Like it is like you feel like its presence and its power, and I like that. So yeah. Um. I aside from that, there's not much action in the movie, but like it's fine. It's fine enough. It does its job. So let's move on to the characters, and there are only three characters I really want to touch upon right now, since there's not much to say here. Starting off with the main character, the one the plot rolls around the most is Sarah Connor, and I like Sarah Connor a lot. She's not just a damsel in distress that you'd think she'd be, and they have Kyle Reese be the macho man. Like Sarah has some balls of her own. She confessed to Terminator on like at the end when Reese dies. And she like actually like stands up to the Terminator, and even though Kyle has to keep her safe, she's the one that finish off the Terminator. And that's cool that we have this character, and you kind of and the movie does make it seem that's where John gets his like leadership from, and Sarah being like this brave person who's able to stand up to the Terminator on her own. So yeah, I like Sarah Connor a lot in this movie. But like aside from those moments that happen like towards the end, there's not much to her, and that's something that we see a lot of the characters. There's just not much to these characters. Like Sarah, I do like, but like aside from that, I don't think there's much. Maybe I'm misremembering some things, but to me, that's really that's really about what I can remember. So yeah, there's not much for me to more to say. I think, but I do like Sarah, and how much of a not a twist, but like a different interpretation it is of like the main characters here, where she is the one who finishes off the Terminator. It's kind of like in another Arnold Schwarzenegger led movie, uh, the Predator, where again like I forgot her name, but like the character, like it's not about like who's the most macho man and whatever who can beat the Terminator. It's like who can be like the most like the smartest, and there's a woman there, and it's meant to show that anyone can beat a Predator. It's not just it takes like intelligence and skill to actually beat one. It's not just the mindless. It's not just like mindless violence and all that stuff. And I like that. Next up is Kyle Reese, and I gotta fucking tell you, man. Kyle Reese is like the biggest flaw this movie has. I I personally do not care for Kyle Reese. The thing is, he's so bland, but maybe that's the point. But like, I just don't get it. He's like, the entire was like, what the fuck do I do? What do I do? It's like I remember. It's like it's all like he does like sacrifices, but he's just like I don't know. Like I don't care. I don't care about him. He's just meh. He's just so like meh, and his actor does. I don't think he does a good job at like. He's not a he's just kind of not a good actor. I just remember I didn't like him in this movie. He's in Aliens from 2 years later, and I didn't even know that was the same actor. Makes sense. He definitely collaborated a lot with James Cameron. Looks like, but I just don't remember this guy. And I didn't have a good impression of him as Kyle Reese. He's kind of like he's very like dull. He's just very like basic ass fucking oh shit basic ass like fuck like just soldier and meh. I don't care about Kyle Reese all that much. Like Sarah Connor's infinitely more interesting, and I think that's the point. She's meant to be a lot more interesting like Kyle Reese, and Kyle Reese is just supposed to be like the father, and like it's supposed to show how like John is born. It'd be sort of like the I guess the twist that the Terminator coming back is what technically had John Connor be born, but that's really all it is. But even then, like I feel like like everything else is done my god, relatively well enough to sort of justify Kyle Reese not being all that interesting. And another character I think is very interesting is the Terminator. I do think the Terminator should be talked about here as a character because the things I said with Kyle Reese, like the actor, I think work in the favor of the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger was is in a very just interesting spot at this point in his life. I think this is when he started becoming like an act, like started going into like Hollywood acting. And obviously he was born, and like he was born outside the U.S. He had to come here and learn English, and it was around this time I'm pretty sure that like yeah, like 1970s, like around here. So it was around this time that you had to kind of learn English, and obviously had to be credited as Arnold Strong in his first movie. It had to be dubbed, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but like him not have him having like not the him having the accent, him like the Terminator speaking very just direct. I feel like works in the movie's favor since it makes the Terminator feel a lot more robotic. Obviously, that's not what we get in Terminator 2, since Arnold like had a firmer grasp of English by that point and does now. But like in his movie, it works to the favor because you believe that the Terminator isn't a real human, because it speaks very robotic and in a very direct manner, and the accent kind of also sells it. Like I think it's very good, and I think Arnold Schwarzenegger like did a really good job with this and really played into that. It's how you take a disadvantage and really like make it part of it. Like I like that a lot. I really do. And obviously, Terminator is like is cold. It's calculating. It doesn't really speak much. So yeah, like I like that a lot about his portrayal because it really makes like like feel terrified and feel like he's not like all there, even though he looks human. He's not. Like I like that a lot about the Terminator, and I feel like it's something that should be talked about a lot more. But yeah. Next up is the plot, and honestly, it's not the most interesting thing. Like, I guess, like it's written well. It's written well enough. I won't deny that, but you know, it's kind of just hide Sarah Connor, and it's like we discover a way to fight to fight the Terminator and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's not the most interesting stuff. I feel like it's paced well overall. It doesn't feel like there's any like bullshit moments out anywhere. It's written well enough, and I feel like, and you know, like I feel like I think it does a job well, like with the writing wise, and like it's explaining everything really, like the whole war thing. I feel it's explained really well, and it doesn't take away from the movie at all. Like it obviously you kind of have to have that for this movie since it's why this happens. But you know, I think it's explained well, and it really like, sets you up like, oh god, like the Terminator really is like this killing machine, like made for war and stuff. Like I like that. I like that a lot. Like I feel like all the writing here is pretty solid. Explaining the background of the world that they live in, or I guess the foreground it would be since it's from 2029. Oh god, we're 3 years away from getting exterminated by fucking Cyberdyne. No, by Skynet. Yeah. Whoops. We're 5 years, so we're 3 years away from getting annihilated by Skynet. By a Cyberdyne made program. But yeah, like I think it all explains it really well, and it really doesn't like it doesn't feel like exposition dump, even if it is. It feels like, you know, obviously information you need to know. And I like that a lot about this movie, how it does that really well. And it reminds me of a story recently that James Cameron said, where it was oh, he was really stuck on I think writing like Fire and Ash, or like one of the Avatar movies. Maybe it was like 4 or 5. I don't know. But I know he wrote them all in like succession. But it was like, yeah, he was having a hard time like with the exposition and like finding how to explain things, and he went to like he went to grab like a magazine that said how like helps like tips for exposition writing in movie scripts, and it said and when he read the magazine, it was like tips for exposition writing as seen in the Terminator. It's like, oh come on. But yeah, I feel like it's done here really well, and I like that. Obviously, the whole story is very much just hiding Sarah Connor, but you know, I feel like the characters do make up for that, and I like that, and I like how I guess the twist is that the Terminator being sent back in time enables John Connor to be born, and that's why it happens. So you know, I like that. I like that about the movie. Uh, it has things I think it could have done better, but overall, I think Terminator is a pretty solid ass movie, and definitely a classic, even if it has its problems. I feel like it's very very interesting either way. So that is why I'm gonna give it an A tier. Yeah, like I said, this episode was gonna be short. It wasn't gonna be all that. Wasn't gonna be all that long. But yeah, it's an A tier. It's damn good. So yeah, what did you guys think about the Terminator? Leave in the comments below. If you wanna give us your feedback, you can like the episode or dislike the episode on YouTube, whichever you prefer. Or rate us on Spotify. If you want to stay up to date for our content, you can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify or on any other platform you're listening to. And if you want to follow us on any of our socials, You can they're all in the description, including all my review sites where you can check out early reviews for things that are related to the podcast or maybe that I'm going to talk about in the podcast. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.